Hi everyone, I'm back again, but I'm gonna stop saying that because every time I think I'm gonna make videos again, I do not. But today I had a requested video. Actually, my mom told me I should make this one about making friends and joining clubs and orgs in college, specifically Penn State. I'll be saying some Penn State facts in there, but this could apply to anyone, honestly, at any school. And I just wanted to jump in here and say real quick that I just became a tour guide at Penn State, so I'm the one like giving prospective students the tours around campus, and I've had already so many, not only like seniors in high school, but also their parents like recognize me from this account, and they tell me, and it honestly makes my day. So please, if you see me on a tour, say hello, because I never thought that people would actually like recognize me from the Penn State videos that I make, but it honestly makes my day. So thank you so much for watching these. I mean, they're just meant to like help everyone, but with that, I just want to say that now that I've trained to be a tour guide, there will be some specific like facts or numbers that I might throw out. And with that, I just want to say that now that I'm a tour guide, I've been trained, and I might be throwing out like specific numbers or statistics in the videos, which could be really helpful, but just know I'm not making them up. They are what I was trained to know. So those might be in this video and future ones too. All right, so without further ado, we'll get into the video. So the first part I'm gonna start with is making friends. And I know this is like a common question I feel like most people have, and it's so hard to give advice on because making friends is hard, and college feels like you're starting over with it all over again. So I kind of thought about it, and I thought of like 4 ways that helped me make friends my first year, and I'm a second-year student right now, so I'm kind of still figuring everything out. But this process wasn't too long ago for me, so that's why I'm trying to give advice now to new students coming in. All right, so the first one that I'm gonna say is your dorm floor. Living on a dorm floor your first year is probably like one of the best experiences you can have, just because you're with all other first-year students who are kind of in the same boat as you, and they're also nervous and they're also trying to make friends. So I know I've had some people give advice saying like their first week they went around with their roommate and knocked on everyone's door on their entire floor and introduced themselves. So that's a great way for people to like know your face and then know you're also like welcoming and looking to make friends. That also might help them feel more comfortable too, as well as yourself. But for me personally, I was actually like the last dorm room on the end of my hallway. So we were kind of in a corner, so we only had one neighbor. But the first weekend when people were moving in, we actually started talking to some girls on our floor and checked out the downtown area and just some of the campus buildings too. And we were just talking with them, and even though they didn't become like my best friends or anything, it was nice to like have that. And then also we were kind of close like throughout the whole rest of my first year, just like on the dorm floor, like we would talk. So that was really nice. And then I will say that as I got to know my dorm floor better, I actually had like a little friend group on my floor with my roommate and then a few other girls, which was super nice because we would do little movie nights together or game nights, and that was a great way because when I would come home at night, I had friends like living on my same floor. So I don't know, that's kind of cool. That's one of the experiences that college gives you that kind of like you'll never get anywhere else, because it feels like you're almost having like a sleepover every single day with your friends. So it's a lot of fun. So I feel like I'm kind of rambling, but my advice there would just be to introduce yourself to people on your floor when you get there. And you'll see each other like in the bathrooms, brushing your teeth, all of that. So you'll get to know the faces. Just be friendly, and yeah, don't be afraid to ask people to hang out or even grab dinner. It's really hard. I'm an introverted person, believe it or not, because no one believes that. And it was very hard for me to start the process of making friends, but a lot of that was just saying yes when people ask me to do something. I think that would be my biggest piece of advice. Sometimes I give that on my tours too. I'm just like, say yes when people ask you to do things, even if you're not in the mood. In the beginning of the school year, like it's so important. Just say yes, meet people. You don't have to be the friend if you don't like them, but just meet them. Okay, this is kind of an unpopular opinion, but the dining hall, I wouldn't necessarily say that I actually like made friends from the dining hall, but it's part of putting yourself out there. So like the first night that my roommate and I moved in, we actually like went into the dining hall, and I told her, I'm like, we're finding 2 people and we're sitting down. And she was like, oh my God. And we were both scared because we didn't know anyone, but we actually like asked 2 girls if we could join them and sat down. Not gonna lie, I really like never saw them again other than like walking. but it was a great experience for me to like push myself out of my comfort zone. Sorry, the camera's kind of fallen. Okay, there we go. But I will say that once I actually made like my core group of friends, we ate dinner together almost every single night. And honestly, like having those dinners with them felt like almost like my family dinners at home, but it was just with them, so it was super fun. So I would recommend, even if you have a friend that you meet with like once a week, the same day, and you always grab dinner, that'll be helpful too. I don't know. It's a great way to like just talk. Like I said, especially in the beginning, people are just looking to meet other people, make friends. So do not be afraid to ask people if you could sit down with them, because 9 times out of 10, no one's gonna say no to you, especially in the beginning of the school year. Okay, the third point I thought of was joining clubs, which I'm gonna talk about in the other half of the video. But I will say that, especially at Penn State, I've noticed, but people who are like exec members for their clubs or kind of in charge of running it, they are so passionate about what they're doing, and they are so aware of like when first year students come, they're nervous, they want to welcome them in. And joining clubs was how I met the majority of like my really close friends today, because even though it seems intimidating going into a new group of people, they are so welcoming. Like I've even joined clubs this year, and I'm a second year student. Like I've developed friendships and everything, but I was still so nervous like going into a new group of people, but they were nothing but welcoming, and I made so many friends through like my new club this year. So it kind of never stops. It only gets easier as you get more comfortable with it. But I will say, I'll talk more about it in a second, but joining clubs is definitely, I think, the most important way to make friends. All right, and the last one I'll say is in your classes. And I know a lot of people don't think at Penn State that's possible, because there are like 40,000 undergraduate students, so it's a huge school. And it does depend on your major as well. I'm in definitely a smaller major, so a lot of my classes I will see the same people, which has helped me like make those connections, and we recognize each other's face, so that's how we became friends. But I will say I also like made friends in my bigger lecture halls of like 300 people. It's just a matter of like, everyone kind of does the same thing in high school where you pick your seat the first day and that's where you sit. It's so funny. So you don't really like shuffle around. You kind of pick your seat the first day and keep sitting there. So it's not uncommon that most of like the other students will keep sitting in their seats. So even if it's something just bonding over like how hard the homework assignment was, or like how you did on the first exam, just things like that will help. Even just like have a little buddy in class. I definitely recommend exchanging like a number or a Snapchat, because there's a lot of times in class where you actually might need help or you don't understand something, and you realize that like you don't have a contact like in high school where you just text your friend and ask. So it actually helped me a lot. I usually try to get people's like number or Snapchat, and that helped me because then you can like help each other understand the assignments better, or like meet up and study together. That's another great way. But I will say I think a lot of people, especially in bigger lecture halls, kind of just have in their mind that they're going to class, they're sitting down, they don't want to talk, and then they'll leave. But I'm not even like, I don't like talking a bunch during class, but like before class I usually get there early, and even just small talk with people has helped just make the class feel smaller, more comfortable. And then like I'll see those people when I'm walking to different classes or on campus, and I wave, and honestly it just makes me so happy. So I would definitely say put yourself out there, talk to the people in class, and they could end up being one of your best friends. I met 2 of my closest friends in my freshman English class. Everyone was quiet like the first week, and then we started talking, and now we still make it a point to like get lunch together or hang out this year. So it is possible to make friends in class too. It happens all the time. I still have friends in like my classes this year. So all right, now I'm gonna transition over to how to join like clubs and organizations on campus. So this section is definitely gonna be more related to Penn State, but if you're from another school just like listening in, feel free to just listen, because your school is probably like very, very similar to this. So the first thing I'll say is definitely go to the involvement fair. That's usually within like the first week or 2 of school, when colleges will have like a ton of tables and people will have like their little poster boards with information about their club, and they'll also have people there to talk and like answer questions. I was working the involvement fair this past year, and a lot of the people I met there are now my friends in the org. So it was so much fun to see that connection. At Penn State specifically, there are over 1,000 clubs and organizations to get involved in. So we always say like there's definitely something for everyone. I would definitely take the time to loop between all the tables. That's what I did. A lot of them will have like little papers with like QR codes where you can scan that, and they'll actually add you into like a group me that they'll just send out like when their first informational meeting is. You can go to these and not commit to the club. So within your first few weeks of school, you can definitely like feel out what clubs and organizations that you're interested in. So you can go to the first 3 meetings and be like, this really isn't for me. I personally picked up so many papers. I'm still in group me's for clubs that I never even went to the first meeting, just because I kind of picked my first few and then I didn't really have time for much more. So that's like the one thing I'll say. If you're not sure, just grab the paper, join the group me, get more information on it, talk to the people there, see if it's a good fit for you. But by joining that, you're not committing by any means. The other thing I'll say is if you are interested in the club, so for instance, I help run Charge, which is like a health, wellness, and fitness org on campus. They have them at a bunch of different universities, but I would recommend actually going to the club meetings, because my first year, I was trying to make friends. So I went to every single meeting every week, and I got to see like the same faces, and the exec members actually started to like recognize my face, and I started building those connections, making those friends. And then this year I was able to be an exec member on it. So I got even closer with some of those people that I met my first year, and I've been able to do the same thing for the other first year students or anyone else joining, honestly. So it's been a great experience from that aspect, because for me it kind of went like full circle, where I was a member first coming in like scared, trying to make friends, and then I was the person actually like making friends with new people, and they're some of the sweetest people I've met. And like I said, exec members of clubs are fully aware of people joining clubs, and they want to recognize your face, check in, see how you're doing, and they want to be there for you. So just remember that going in. Everyone, in my experience at least, was super nice and kind to me, whether I ended up joining their club or not. And then the last thing I will say is, this is a tour guide thing that we say, but Penn State does recommend that you join 3 clubs. 1 for your major, 1 philanthropy, and 1 for fun. So I always tell everyone for my major, I'm in the RPTM Student Society, which is awesome because it's a bunch of kids like who are all in my classes, and we just get together like every other week and play games. We learn more about our major in our classes, so that's really fun. And for philanthropy, Thon is a huge thing at Penn State. I won't talk about that too much. You can always look it up if you're interested, but it's an amazing cause. So I work with Thon through one of my orgs, and then for fun, I am an event coordinator for Penn State Charge, and then I also am a tour guide. So I just do that for fun. I love giving tours and talking to the families and students. So I'm basically in like 4 orgs that I would say I'm definitely like a member of. I'm try to be consistently there. My last piece of advice going out of this video is just that college is a great time to just expand your horizons, meet people that maybe you wouldn't have normally talked to in the past, and try new things that you wouldn't have, because I would have never thought that I would be where I am today, trying the things I have and meeting like the people, because especially I've learned going to such a big school, I have had the opportunity to actually meet some of the most amazing people I've ever met in my life. People I'm lucky enough to call like my best friends, and I would have never had that opportunity if I didn't really push myself in the beginning, branch out, and really make an effort making friends and joining clubs. So I definitely will acknowledge it's hard. It was super hard for me. I always tell people that, like, I'm not gonna, say that this is an easy process by any means, and it can get a little draining in the beginning and tiring. But if you put in that effort, it will reward you in the end. And I can say it did for me, and it made making friends along now my second year way easier. With that being said, I just want to remind you that it will be okay. Everything will work out. Don't stress about this too much. Your first year is a big change, and everyone's going through it at the same time. So just try to remember that and put yourself out there and say yes when people ask you to hang out. All right, that's gonna be all for this video today. I'm on spring break right now, so I had extra time. My mom told me I should film this one, so I did. And I'm getting my wisdom teeth out tomorrow, so I will not be filming probably the rest of the week, but maybe into the next few weeks before the end of this semester, I'll try to get another video or two out. I definitely want to do a day in my life, so stay updated. And if you see me on a tour, say hi. I love you all. Thank you for watching. And if you have any more questions, please leave them in the comments. I always love to answer. If you enjoyed this video, definitely subscribe to my channel. Like I said, I talk about all kinds of college advice. I do have more expertise kind of in the Penn State area because that's where I go. But yeah, I love when you watch these. So keep watching, and I will see